how the treasury is organized usually. This structure is more pertaining to banks. I'll cover how it is organized in say organizations like Reliance. So in a typical bank, you will have namely 3 or 4 desks: FX desk or derivatives desk separate or maybe clubbed together. Then the fixed income rates desk, debt capital markets desk, and commodities desk. Commodities desk in India, they only do little bit of bullion. Bullion is gold and silver import and onward distribution. Uh, Debt capital markets, so listed debt instruments like CPs, which are in news for all the wrong reasons, or bonds, corporate bonds or government bonds. Fixed income is mostly while very strongly connected with debt capital markets, but their core focus area is on government debt. Derivatives and FX, these are basically desks catering to FX and structuring on FX requirements of corporates. So on any of these desks, you will have a sales team and a trading team. Sales guys are the guys who engage with the customer, who are the guys who will go out, talk to the customer, prospect him to give business to this bank. They'll wine with the customer. Their job is to keep the customer happy so that the business flows through them. And the sales guys do not make markets. They take their quotes, what they quote to the customer, from the trading desk. These are the guys who talk to their trading counterparts in other banks. They go to the interbank markets for quotes on the products they are dealing with, and accordingly make a quote to the sales guys, who is further quoting it to his customer. And there is one small desk called balance sheet or ALM, money markets desk. This desk basically is the treasury of the bank. They ensure that the bank is adequately funded. They are the money managers of the bank. They manage the CRR, SLR, LCR ratios for the bank. So I miss making one point. Treasuries at most places will have 3 different units. Front office, which is where I think most of you would be interested in. Middle office and back office. Front office is the market or client facing role. So everyone in front office is either facing an interbank market or is talking to a customer. The middle office is mostly the team which manages the market risk, basically monitors and reports or take corrective actions on market risk emanating from positions being taken by the front office. I'll come to the details of the same little later. The back office is the team which settles all the trades which the front office initiates. So the BO will be settling the customer with bank leg of the transaction and the interbank leg of the transaction. Now naturally front office roles are always in demand for the meat that they offer in terms of the job content, the remuneration, and the challenge. Middle office comes next because it is still talking numbers, dealing in calculation of risk, corrective measures that the bank or the organization may need to take. And BO, in my opinion, comes last because they are only settling transactions. So if you want to ask me what does it mean, so suppose a client has come and asked you a quote on a RIL bond. So the client will call the DCM sales desk. The DCM sales desk will take a quote on the RIL 5-year bond from his trading desk. The person on the trading desk will either have the inventory of that RIL 5-year bond, or he may go and fetch a quote in the market. Accordingly, the trader will make a quote to the sales guy. The sales guy will make a quote to the customer. The customer says, I buy. The sales guy says, I buy. The trader says, I buy. And the deal is done. Now it's the job of back office to ensure that the bond is delivered to the customer and the right amount of money is collected from the customer on the settlement date. If there are any issues, the BO guys will do the running around. Now, naturally, sales and trading jobs are most coveted, and BO is least coveted, and middle office is somewhere in between. If so, this was a typical setup at a bank. In treasuries of corporates, obviously the strength will be much lesser. A typical bank's treasury may run from anywhere between, for a small bank it would be 10-15 people, for a medium sized bank it may be 50 to 100 people, for large banks it may be anywhere between 150 to 250 people. And for some of the large foreign banks, they used to have Olympic size trading floors. Jay may want to talk about that in great detail, because in last 5-10 years all these trading floors have shrunk, and the risk and compliance floors have grown in size, as you would know. So in a corporate setup, obviously the treasury will be much smaller, and they will not be dealing in all these products. Maybe, for example, a RIL, I guess their major exposure is on crude and on dollar rupee, or at best they may be having some euro inflows from their export to European markets. So intuitively, the 3 or 4 products that they will seek your mastery upon is dollar rupee, crude, euro dollar. So if you can cover 3 or 4 of those products and talk sensibly on these pairs, I think you stand a very good chance. We can talk about some other large corporate, for example JSW or Hindustan Zinc. These guys may have large exposures on silver, and definitely on dollar rupee. So any corporate in India who is into export import will naturally have an exposure on dollar rupee, dollar being the primary trade currency, and at best maybe a little bit of euro. So as I said, these corporates, their core business, whatever their area of core business is, somebody is in iron and steel, obviously will be tracking iron and steel. So they will have more or less 1, 2, or 3 pairs being dealt in. For some really adventurous corporate, they may be taking funds on other products also. Like actually, there is no dearth of products in global markets. You can trade any G7 pair, or you can trade actually G20 pair of currencies also. You can trade rates in Germany, you can trade rates in UK, Japan, anywhere. Addition to their core export import exposures, they will obviously have the funding desk, which is usually under either the CFO's office or the treasurer office. The people who keep the organization funded, they try to minimize the borrowing cost of the firm, and they try to maximize the yield on their investments, or they do capital rationing. All those kind of decision making happens at the treasury desk of any corporate, like it happens in the treasury desk of the bank.